If you're over 30 and you're not fat, but you still look soft in the belly, it is not your genetics. You're likely stuck in the skinny fat zone, which most men never escape. And if you don't fix it now, it's only going to get harder as you age. But once you understand the rules, it's actually pretty simple to fix. And after coaching busy men to get six-pack lean for the past 9 years, I'll show you the proven steps to go from skinny fat to a lean muscular physique. But here's the thing, most guys who end up looking skinny fat all make the same mistakes without realizing it. You train but aren't progressing, you eat healthy but you aren't seeing more muscle definition, and you've probably lost more muscle than you think over the past years or decades. Hence, the arms and legs still look thin. And this is a combination of less muscle, lower strength and fitness, higher visceral fat in the belly, a lower metabolic rate, probably shitty sleep, stress, inconsistent nutrition, and stacking all that together. So that said, I need you to focus on this core change that we'll cover next. So skinny fat isn't really a weight problem. It is a muscle to fat ratio problem. You might not have much weight to lose. So the goal is increasing the muscle while gradually dropping body fat to improve that ratio. And a solid muscle to fat ratio is about 4 or higher, ideally 5 if you want that leaner, ripped look and maintain it all year. You might only be 5 to 10 kilos or 10 to 20 pounds away from this mark, but you're missing that 3 to 5 kilos or 10 to 12 pounds of muscle, which will change your shape. The scale can be very deceiving though, so you have to prioritize how you actually look in the mirror. Also, muscle takes a long ass time to build compared to dropping body fat, which you can do quite quickly, as you would already know. Measuring muscle growth can also be a bit tricky because scans will show that you've dropped muscle even when you have lost fat. But if you got stronger and your measurements are bigger, you haven't lost muscle. Another thing is that muscle growth is typically slower in a fat loss phase. This is why progress can feel really slow until you get lean enough to start seeing that definition pop, especially when you have a pump from your workouts. And this is where hormones matter even more. So shit sleep and low testosterone can make things much harder to build more muscle and easier to store more belly fat. Getting leaner will elevate testosterone, and regular training plus more muscle is going to improve your insulin sensitivity. So if your progress feels slow at first, it's not because you're just losing weight. You're changing your body composition from the inside out. But it is important to avoid this next mistake, which keeps even the fittest people I know stuck with a gut. When you do a lot of running or high intensity endurance cardio, you will burn more glycogen. And this can spike your appetite to replace that energy and could diminish your energy for muscle growth. And this is why endurance cyclists and runners still have a gut, because despite burning thousands of calories, they're overeating or they have low muscle mass from avoiding lifting weights. Also, if you push a fat loss deficit too hard while you're doing a lot of cardio, you may lose that brute strength in your workouts, resulting in less muscle over the long term because you don't have the strength for it. For most busy guys I work with who are over 30, the best thing to do is steady state cardio for consistent calorie burning. This is your brisk walking, your moderate cycling, swimming, whatever the hell you like. Two good options is the 12-3-30 method or the interval walking training, using slow and fast phases to keep a steady burn every day. Steady state will not explode your hunger or make you overly sore or drain your energy for lifting. Now, I'm not saying never ever do a marathon. You absolutely can. But for most busy guys, it's just very difficult to keep it consistent with fat loss when you're juggling energy, glycogen depletion, dehydration, and all these things. Then the whole goal is to preserve muscle and lose fat gradually. So use cardio as a tool, not the priority. However, this next point should be your main priority. If you're training, but you don't look like you train, then your workouts are probably too light, too random, or too infrequent to build the muscle that you want to see. Or you're just doing the same reps that you do every week with same exercises, and even less depending on your mood and energy on the day. So basically, there's not enough stimulation for you to grow more muscle. But once you start lifting with structured progression over time, your results will be guaranteed to change. And just with 3 productive strength sessions per week, you can gain muscle and shift your composition towards that higher muscle, low fat ratio. This 3-day split suits almost all my busy clients who travel, have families, and just hectic schedules in general. And here are some realistic benchmarks that you can aim for. 10 bodyweight chin-ups, bench pressing your body weight, squatting your body weight, and deadlifting 1.5 times your body weight. You don't have to hit all these targets overnight. It's going to take time, but working towards these targets guarantees that your shape is going to change and your training is actually building more muscle over time. Even clients in their 60s are achieving this. And while you're building muscle and changing your shape, The only way you're going to reveal that shape and definition is by fixing your diet, which we'll cover next. Many guys eat healthy food every day, but they lack consistent structure with their calories that are constantly fluctuating wildly, or their protein is too low. Now, protein is crucial because it supports muscle recovery, muscle growth, and maintenance, especially when you're in a fat loss deficit. And going lower carb with lower protein just makes things even worse. Carbs have a muscle sparing effect, meaning the body uses carbs for energy and avoids breaking down muscle tissue for extra fuel when you're in that deficit. So without enough carbs, especially in a deficit, your workouts are going to feel flat, your strength might diminish, and you could stop progressing. So a simple fix is timing most of your carbs around your training and sticking to real sources like rice, potatoes, oats, and fruit. Another issue is thinking that you're actually in a deficit when you're not, or cutting food so hard that you binge 2 weeks later, especially on weekends, because Friday to Sunday, you could easily wipe out your entire deficit for the week. Just 4 alcoholic drinks on a Saturday and a Sunday is basically 2 extra meals that you didn't need to have worth of calories. Plus, if you add the shitty sleep on top and the dehydration, that's just going to lead to more bloating, water retention, and then you're starting Monday on the back foot. Then it could take 2 to 4 days to catch up, and then by the time you do that, the weekend's rolling around again. Now, I'm not saying never eat shit.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No.
Or never drink any alcohol. But it needs to fit within a weekly structure instead of being bonus calories. So 90% clean food, 10% shit is optimal. 80-20 is acceptable. But anything beyond that is taking the piss if you want long-term results, meaning you're kicking your own balls. If you're one of these guys who thinks that he can just wing it by going really strict without using any data at all, well, better luck next year, mate.
Well, better luck next year.
However, it's not all about being perfect, but to go from skinny fat to a lean muscular physique, you need to have a strategy and a structure that keeps your deficit consistent and muscle growing. And we're going to cover that next. So without good data and detail, it is easy to kid yourself for months, potentially years, that you're doing everything right when your data says otherwise. Body recomp is more precise than just losing weight, and it requires accurate data to guide you. And a lot of people stay stuck because they say,
I don't want to track food and steps and wear a Fitbit and log my workouts.
which is like a broke person saying,
I don't want to track my expenses or check my bank account every day.
but the devil is in the detail. And the solution is usually sitting right inside the thing that people want to avoid. Also, this is never a race. It is a journey. And every journey needs a pit stop, or you're going to run out of fuel. So it's totally fine, like every 10 pounds or 5 kilos, to have a few days or even a week close to your maintenance level. And if you hit a stressful week, or you're unwell, or there's just so much going on and your sleep is smashed and you're stressed out, whatever it is, sometimes the smartest move is just to take a break, zoom out. 2-day diet break isn't going to kill your progress, so that you're not grinding yourself into the ground. The long-term plan with Recomp is more muscle and less fat, but you need to acclimatize to each level to maintain that leaner body. Then you can reverse out of it and maintain it without piling the fat back on. That said, if you follow the steps in this video and you want help to implement them with customization and direct accountability, you can work with me one-on-one inside my Metabolic Recomp method. To learn more, the link is in the description. Or if you prefer to go this solo, you can get all of my structures, systems, and templates inside the Business Body Blueprint Routine. Link is in the description. Then go watch this video next to learn the 7 signs that you're actually losing more belly fat.